It's 4:30 and this is WKYT This Morning. Family members of a Montgomery County man say he is lucky to be alive. More on how a mobile home fell on him just ahead this morning.
City leaders have launched a new campaign to deal with panhandling in town, what they're implementing and why coming up.
And a Louisville officer has been suspended after a controversial social media post. We'll have more on that ahead on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning, welcome in. It's great to have you along here on this Thursday as we get this day off and rolling. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Let's see what's happening with the weather because it's like thick.
Yeah, I think we've got more of that rain coming. Let's check in with Micah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's like a sauna walking outside. It does not feel good, and that humidity is there, is ready for these storms to roll on through and just grab all that moisture and throw it to the ground. Well, right now, there's not much going on. We had some storms late last night, right around midnight, roll across the region, and they were pretty loud, pretty active. And then they just kind of fizzled out right as we went past that midnight hour until 1 a.m. Lexington at 75 degrees, London coming in at 75 degrees, and like Rebecca was talking about, it's just soupy outside, and that's the way it's going to be all day long. It was like that yesterday. It's like that again today. Strong storms expected, though, for today, and we're going to get into that coming up.
Okay, we'll see in a bit. In the news this morning, family members say a Montgomery County man is lucky to be alive after a mobile home fell on him.
It happened late yesterday afternoon on Sawmill Road near Jeffersonville. Family members say the man was working underneath the home at the time. Monique Blair has our story.
And they ran in and told me that the trailer fell on my dad.
He was laying a long way like this underneath the doorway.
Anthony Daugherty says he and Estelle Callahan were working on this mobile home this afternoon, trying to shift it, when suddenly Daugherty, who was on the opposite side of the trailer, felt it slip. Daugherty says when he came over to this side of the mobile home, he saw his friend Estelle Callahan pinned underneath it. So at that time, he says he started to use this jack to lift the mobile home off of his friend.
We just kept jacking it up, you know, trying to get him out. I just wanted to get him out.
Daugherty says the trailer was sitting on Callahan's rib cage.
He couldn't hardly say anything. He was out of breath. I mean, it was crushing his chest, you know, and he just saying, get it off, you know, he just wanted it off.
He tried to tell him that he needed to keep breathing, that everything was okay, to stay calm.
Eventually, once emergency crews showed up, Callahan was freed from the trailer and taken to the hospital. His family tells me although he may have a long road to recovery, he should be okay.
That was scary, yeah. I was terrified. You know, it could have ended real bad.
In Montgomery County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Estelle Callahan was released from the hospital late last night. His daughter tells us he doesn't have any internal injuries but is very sore.
Police have arrested a Clark County constable. They say they caught him selling drugs yesterday morning. Now 52-year-old Glenn Witt is charged with drug trafficking. According to his arrest citation, police saw Witt sell oxycodone to a cooperative witness for more than $300. Police say when they later stopped Witt, he had his constable badge, the money, and a gun with him. Witt is the 3rd district constable for Clark County. New this morning, a Louisville Metro Corrections sergeant has been suspended after a social media post. City leaders there say Sergeant Derek Hale shared this photo meme on his personal Facebook account and responded by saying, quote, "Ha, truth." It comes after investigators say police officers shot and killed 2 black men in Louisiana and in Minnesota. Louisville city leaders say they have launched an internal investigation into the Facebook post.
Any type of inflammatory posts like that do not represent the city. They certainly don't represent the many hardworking men and women at Metro Corrections as well.
The director of Louisville Metro Corrections says his agency works to improve race relations, and the Facebook post hurt those efforts.
Some people on social media have raised questions about a sign at Bryan Station High School. The picture of the Black Lives Matter sign was shared on Facebook yesterday. We asked Fayette County school leaders about it. They say the sign is not new and has actually been at the school for 6 months. They told us the sign promotes the Black Lives Matter Club, which was started by students of different races at Bryan Station. Last fall, the school said the club had sponsored conversations about stereotypes, staff diversity, and racial harmony at Bryan Station. In a statement, Superintendent Manny Cox said, quote, "It's an injustice for anyone to make assumptions about the work of the students based on a sign." And Bryan Station Principal James McMillan said, quote, "This club has sparked real change that I hope lights a passion in all of us to do more to ensure that a person's demography does not equal his or her destiny." To see the full statement from Fayette County Schools, go to WKYT.com. 2 weeks ago, we told you that Lexington city leaders wanted to address panhandling. They say giving panhandlers money actually hurts more than helps because they don't use the money for the right reasons, they say.
And now Lexington has launched a new public service campaign, even handing out cards to tell people how to help panhandlers. WKYT's Garrett Weimer has the update.
There's a stack of cards just inside the door at Sav's Chill.
Yeah, I have a bunch of places, you have in here stuck, and got a lot.
Soon you may see them a lot more places. The city wants folks to stop giving money to panhandlers and instead point them to resources that can really help them.
On the one side of the card where it says please do not give spare change to panhandlers, that information is for you. That's to explain to you why this isn't necessarily the best thing. It helps you understand maybe some alternatives, things you could say to someone in response to their requests. On the other side of the card is information on how to get help. So that's the other thing we want them to do. We want you to keep these in your car or keep them on your person, and when someone says, hey, I need shelter, I'm homeless, or I'm hungry, you just hand them this card.
The city ordered 10,000 of these cards to start off with. They've already passed out several thousand of them this week to businesses, churches, and other folks here in Lexington. Mamadou Savanet's shops on South Limestone are right at what he calls a panhandling hotspot. He hopes the cards will help panhandlers get the help they need.
I know the city is trying very hard, and hopefully we all together will try to make this thing work.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And if you would like to get some of those cards, you can contact Lexington's Office of Homelessness Prevention. We have their contact info right now on WKYT.com.
It has been a year since devastating flash flooding in Johnson County that killed 4 people. Hundreds of homes were damaged or destroyed in the flood. The Flat Gap community was among the hardest hit. One man we talked to yesterday says while he didn't lose his home, the flood did take much of what he owned, including vehicles and his garage.
Everything I worked for was gone. I mean, gone. If we was standing here 1 year ago today in this spot, you would be drowned.
Some survivors who lost their homes in the flood have since moved back to Flat Gap. They say they're thankful the flood happened in the afternoon. They fear if it had happened at night, many lives would have been lost.
Time this morning, 4:38 on WKYT. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has said he will announce his running mate choice tomorrow morning in New York. And some polls show a tightening race with Democrat Hillary Clinton. Craig Boswell has the latest from the campaign trail.
Donald Trump spent Wednesday in Indianapolis talking with possible running mates.
I'm narrowing it down. I mean, I'm at 3, potentially 4. But in my own mind, I probably am thinking about 2.
He flew his children in for a breakfast meeting with conservative Indiana Governor Mike Pence.
I'll be supporting his choice very strongly, and we'll just let the future take care of itself.
The 57-year-old Pence has a Friday deadline on whether his name will appear on the ballot for another term as governor. Trump also met with former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich and Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions, the first senator to endorse him. Trump spoke with New Jersey Governor Chris Christie by phone.
On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton talked about race relations and unity at the Old State House in Springfield, Illinois. That's where Abraham Lincoln delivered his famous House Divided speech.
Clinton said the nation needs a president who can bring people together.
Donald Trump is so dangerous. His campaign is as divisive as any we have seen in our lifetimes.
A new Quinnipiac University poll shows voters in Florida, Ohio, and Pennsylvania now consider Trump significantly more trustworthy than Clinton. Craig Boswell, CBS News, The White.
And a new NBC Marist poll shows Clinton leading Trump by 3 points in Iowa and by 9 points in Pennsylvania. The two are in a virtual tie in Ohio. Well, the Bluegrass Fair starts today in Lexington, and it runs for more than a week until July 24th. The fair is held at Masterson Station Park on Leestown Road in Fayette County. On weekdays, it begins at 5 o'clock in the evening, and on weekends, it starts at 3 in the afternoon. Admission is $6 per person. Kids under 6 get in free. It's important to note only cash is accepted there at the fair. Always a good time, big tradition. WKYT this morning just getting started here on your Thursday morning, starting to roll toward that weekend now.
Well, kids shouldn't get a free pass from learning just because it's summer. We'll have some tips on how to keep their minds active when we come back on WKYT.
We do have some storms back toward the west of us, and we're going to see that increase as we go through the day today, maybe for some parts into tomorrow. But what about your weekend forecast? And I have all of that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Not much going on early this morning, but there are a few isolated cells here and there. And there's not much to those as of right now, but we're seeing one build in northern Pulaski County near the Eubank area, and that's crossing over 27 as we speak, heading over toward Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon, more than likely, if it continues on this trend, you're going to be next in line. Here in just about 15 to 20 minutes, it's a very small cell. There's not much to it, but that's one that bears watching now that we have some lightning along with that. Bits and pieces here and there close to the Mountain Parkway as you're rolling down the Mountain Parkway, and also 460. You may run into those if you're about to leave, but that cell right there, that's the only one with some lightning in it early this morning. Temperatures in the 70s, not just 70, but we're 77 degrees right now in Richmond and Danville. That is not good to walk out in. That is very, very soupy, very steamy conditions. Once we hit the afternoon, we go from the mid-70s to the upper 80s once again today. And we will have rain chances as we go throughout the day. Now through about noontime, not great chances, about 40% I would give it during that time. But afternoon off into the evening hours, we'll start to see these storms move on in. Anywhere from 2 to about 8 p.m. is your best bet to actually see those storms move in, become strong, maybe even an isolated severe cell mixed in too, because we are under that marginal risk of severe weather, the lowest end of severe weather that you can expect all across the region. Everybody has that chance as we go into your afternoon. Now, approaching Friday looks like there could be a few storms left over there on Friday. So we still have that 40% chance of rain. The good news here is look on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, guys, we've been talking about this past couple of days. The closer we get, the more confidence we have in this system. I've dropped the rain chances on Sunday to about 30%, only a small chance, and 40% on Saturday. So there's some good news for Saturday and Sunday as we continuously drop these rain chances the closer we get. And more than likely on Sunday, if I see another weather model run that actually shows up the way it's looking, we may even just take out the rain chance on Sunday altogether and maybe even drop the rain chance a little bit more on Saturday. So that's something to watch out for. There's some good news in the forecast.
Well, that's good. Last night was loud.
Yeah, it was very loud. Yeah, a lot
it was.
lightning.
Yeah, and exactly. That was it. The lightning just kept coming there for a couple of hours. All right, see if you can turn those lightning bolts off on a couple of those days for the weekend. Thank you, Micah. 4:46 now. Even though it is summer break, children still need to keep learning.
Here are some helpful ways to incorporate learning throughout the day in today's Mom's Everyday Minute.
Today, we're talking about how to keep your children learning during the summer. While we want to be able to give our kids a break during summer, we also don't want them to forget everything that they learned, and we want them to be ready for the next school year. So how do you find a happy medium?
Try to do anything you can to incorporate in reading and math, spelling, writing in any way you can throughout the day. It doesn't have to be the whole day.
Here's some advice on how to keep kids learning. First, incorporate learning in the activities of the day, but don't wait until the end of the day. Second, try to make the lessons fun and part of your activity and not stand out. For younger kids, they can look for letters on road signs. As they get older, they can figure out math story problems. Third, if kids aren't learning enough in your day-to-day activities, set aside time for them to read or learn. And finally, if your kids are behind in school, don't wait until the next school year. Get help immediately. Summer is a great time to get a tutor.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com, click on Moms Every Day.
All right, bottom line, don't waste your summer. And it's good to have you with us on WKYT this morning. We have a lot more coming up for you. It's now 4:47.
It's been a year since a Clay County man was murdered. Police still haven't made any arrests. We'll have more on the case when we come back on WKYT this morning.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT this morning.
Welcome back. It's 4:50 this morning. It has been 1 year since the murder of a Clay County man, and police say they still have not made any arrests.
Police say they found 68-year-old Lawrence Sizemore dead in his home on July 13th of last year. They say someone killed him, then set his house on fire on Highway 577 in Sextons Creek. Sizemore's family says they're frustrated that no one has been arrested.
He was old-fashioned, and he didn't use like debit cards, credit cards, anything like that. So I mean, anybody that knew him knew he would have cash on him.
State police say this is an active investigation, and they're currently following up on all leads in the case. Friends of a missing Northern Kentucky couple are organizing another search effort to find their remains. Police say Robert Jones and Crystal Warner were last seen leaving a Washington County cabin back on July 3rd. Even though police have not found the remains, they have arrested Craig Pennington and charged him with killing the couple. Friends say the couple was active in Jeep clubs in the Cincinnati area. Many of those Jeep clubs say they're organizing a new search, and they're working with state police to help them figure out a good place to search. Other friends say they'll be searching in Clark County this weekend. They'll set up at Mount Zion Christian Church at 8 o'clock Saturday morning.
We have an update for you on a Whitley County church that was gutted by fire a week ago. The fire destroyed everything inside the Little Cane Creek Church of God. No one was injured. Church members say most of the outside of the building can be saved. They're now working to rebuild the inside of the church, and the pastor says some good has come out of the fire.
This is a bad thing that happened, but in one sense it was God sent to maybe bring us together more. And if it's done anything, it has done that.
Until the inside of the church can be rebuilt, church members are holding services at a pavilion next to the building on Sunday nights. It looks like more progress is being made at the Centerpoint project in downtown Lexington. Yesterday, we saw retaining walls being poured as part of the construction of the underground parking garage. Developer Dudley Webb says he and another businessman are paying for the $38 million garage with their own money. The plan also calls for 2 hotels and an office complex. In May, Webb told us the plan was for the garage to be finished by the end of the year.
Well, some businesses in Lexington tell us that they are hoping to cash in on the new Pokemon Go game. Managers at Joseph Beth Booksellers say many people have stopped by while playing the game in that area. So they've set up some Pokemon displays welcoming the players.
You know, while not everybody that comes in is buying something, just one person buying one thing, I think, makes it more than worth it.
Some branches of the Lexington Public Library have been Pokemon Go hotspots, and D20 Hobbies on Southland Drive has set up free Wi-Fi for Pokemon players. Well, we had some others who put up signs saying, you know, don't disturb people while they're eating kind of things.
Yeah,
right?
or don't just, you know, go head first into a water fountain or something.
Right. Some of that happening as well. Good to have you with us on WKYT this morning. Coming right up, a look at some of the stories our news team is working on for you right now.
Also have another look at your morning forecast.
Welcome back in. It's 4:57 here on WKYT this morning.
Yes, it's time to take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
This morning, people will be searching for a Northern Kentucky couple who disappeared a little more than a week ago. We'll have the latest on that, including some possible new leads, or at least some new areas that we'll be searching, coming up in our next half hour.
And let's get a look at weather with Micah.
We have a couple of showers outside and maybe even a rumble of thunder there in northern Pulaski County. A lot of that is going to be making its way toward the east and toward the northeast. Now, the main action actually comes later on this afternoon. We'll still have a chance of rain during the morning hours, but the main part of it is this afternoon off into the evening hours. That's when those strong storms move on in. You're going to get heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and also some strong winds within this. But could we be looking at any severe weather? That's what I'm going to be focusing in on the next 24 hours. And we'll talk all about that coming up with another 2 hours of WKYT News. If you're about to take off, have a great morning. If not, stick with us. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes.